realize that this is a very big mistake if the United States decided to intervene. That's why yesterday we've heard statements from some European leaders, which implies that they are against any military intervention in Libya.
Some statement always giving some special message. For example, the statement of Robert Gates when he talking regarding if we impose no-fly zone in Libya, it means entering in the war with the Libya. What is the message behind of that? It is some messages that we want to intervene or supporting the people of the Libya. What your assessment of this statement?
Well, I strongly believe that what they are actually doing is preparing the ground for intervention. But the Americans are being very cautious about it. As they say, once bitten, twice shy. They are engaged now in two wars. They are trying to pull out of Iraq, although they have still 50,000 soldiers on Iraqi soil. They are actually being bogged down in Afghanistan. The surge policy that Obama has actually adopted and supported is not working. The Taliban still have got the upper hand. They are still maintaining the gains in Afghanistan. And I do believe that the surge policy is actually ineffective. And that's why Robert Gates came out and said that we have to be cautious about it. This would require, firstly, as he said, from a military point of view, we have to strike all the ground assets of Gaddafi. We have also to neutralize and pacify the ground-to-air defense missiles that Gaddafi has, which basically involves carrying out military strikes right in the heart of Libya. And he has said that we need more than one aircraft carrier. But I do believe that he is proceeding in actually having all the assets right there. Although I do believe that their intervention would be a huge threat, not only to the popular uprising in Libya. As I said, it would be deeply discredited and it will be severely undermined, but it will actually be a threat to all other popular uprisings within the Arab world, because those popular uprisings have been till now entirely authentic and homegrown in the Arab world. Any intervention by the West would actually destabilize and threaten the very existence of those popular uprisings. Now, the West want to intervene in Libya, contrary to the image that a lot of people have about Libya. Libya is not any longer. Those days are long gone, the days when Gaddafi stood by the National Congress, when he kicked out the foreign bases, when he actually kicked out the foreign oil companies. They are all gone. 2004, we've seen that Tony Blair went there and he became a staunch ally of the West. He actually allowed all those Western companies to go back to Libya, and he has basically transformed his position into an ally of the West. But what the West actually sees is there a golden opportunity when the Libyan country or the Libyan regime have actually split in half. The military have split in half. They see a country disintegrating. They see a country falling apart, and there is an opportunity for them for a close involvement in Libya to actually make up or compensate for the states and the power that they do believe in the hearts of their hearts. They lost in Egypt a major ally. They lost in Zayn al-Abidin a major ally. And the position of the King of Bahrain.
In your view, with the assessment that you are giving us, if they want to stopping the uprising in the other parts of the Middle East and North Africa, it was very easy for them to interfere in the Libya, attack them, and giving a signal to the other countries.
No, I think that's the reason I mentioned Libya. It's totally different to Egypt and Tunisia. If we look at Egypt, they had the army. The Egyptian army is strongly loyal to the United States. Well, I don't need to mention that Tantau was actually there at the beginning of the popular uprising. The army has very, very strong links to the United States. They depend on that army. They actually supply it with $1.3 billion annually just to prop it up and just to actually provide it with the latest advanced, sophisticated arms. So they have the army there to depend on and to rely on them. Although we have to admit that they actually have lost power. What the intention of the West was is only to carry out simple and superficial cosmetic changes to the regime. They wanted to replace Mubarak with Suleiman. That was the intention, just to remove the heads. They wanted also to replace Zain al-Abidin bin Ali with Muhammad al-Ghanouchi, and they actually, to a certain extent, managed to do that if it wasn't for the persistence, for the determination, for the protesters remaining steadfast and carrying on with the protest unabated and undaunted. They actually nearly managed to succeed in that. We've seen that John McCain, we've seen Lieberman, and we've seen William Burns going to Tunisia and actually demanding and asking Muhammad al-Ghanouchi to start forming a new party which can accommodate all those old guard, members of the old guard, and the business elite, to form a new party which is strong to replace Zain al-Abidin bin Ali old party. So they were actively engaged in actually regaining and restoring the power that they have lost. And that's why I do believe that the situation in Libya is different. It's not, the state is crumbling, and that's why it gives a golden opportunity to intervene there. They are refusing to interfere in Bahrain. They're trying to prop it up. And if I just refer to Robert Gates, we can see the stark and sheer hypocrisy in what he said. He said there are reforms being carried out in Saudi Arabia. Now, for the life of me, I don't see any political reform being announced by the king. He simply came out there to bribe the people, to buy them off in order for him to head off and actually preempt any protests taking place in Saudi Arabia. Although the same underlying factors, the same mentality, we can see that the people are seething with anger. They are hugely full of resentment, and there is deep discontent there against the king himself and against his regime.
Zadisa, it is very interesting assessment, but I want to asking Dr. Fouad Ibrahim in the other aspect regarding the stance and position of the Arab countries themselves. What is the Arab League role in this matter? We can see very clear picture of what they are telling regarding those uprising, what they want of that, and especially Saudi Arabia wasn't in the picture very bright. What they want, we know what it is in the behind of the scene, but what the assessment of your view regarding why Saudi Arabia not coming in the front pages regarding what is going on in the whole North Africa and Middle East?
And you mean the position of Arab League?
Saudi Arabia and Arab League as well.
Okay. Yeah, Saudi Arabia is a state favored and supported, backed by United States, and it is the only milky cow for the United States to support, because once the political equation changes in Saudi Arabia, then the whole scene, not only the region, but the world will change. That's why they don't want to see changes like what happened in Tunisia and Egypt, and that's why they try to encourage King Abdullah to make slight changes just to convince the world that yes, they are changing. There are reforms, although nobody notices any change in Saudi Arabia so far. I know that there are demands now in the country for essential transformation of the state towards a constitutional monarchy, but the king or the royal family did not do anything. And the problem is the West now is silent towards Saudi Arabia. They don't want to see revolution or uprising in this country because
Dr.
they want oil.
It is very interesting anyway discussion, and we have a lot of questions to ask, but unfortunately our time up now. And thank you very much for being with us, Dr. Fuad Ibrahim and Dr. Zaid Issa. And thank you very much for watching Insight, and please joining us with another episode of Insight. Goodbye.